Hey, Chris, this is our dad. I know earlier I said that I wanted to start sending you a few emails to kind of share some personal experiences of mine that will kind of help you gain some perspective on what you and I talked about earlier today. But then I got to thinking, I said, you know what? Perhaps putting together a video would help out more. So that not only do you kind of hear what I'm saying, but also really feel what I'm saying. As I mentioned to you earlier, the most important thing that you need to do, Chris, is you need to rebuild your confidence. Listening to you on the phone, although I always look forward to hearing from you to, see that, things are going good for you. But it's also important as your father to hear from you when things aren't going so well. I need you to really, really understand, Chris, that now that you have entered manhood, you're going to be a man for the rest of your life. And quite frankly, things aren't going to get any easier. In fact, they're going to get a little more challenging as you go along. Your childhood as you know it is over, so now it really is going to boil down to what you decide to do for yourself moving forward. All I want to do as your dad is to simply give you some tools, give you some guidance, give you some coaching. That is what I'm here for. And I'm always available. I'm always accessible. You know that I ain't but a phone call away, a text message away. You know, if you need to talk to me. So I wanted to get that out the way and make myself clear. But as a young man, Chris, you have to understand that confidence drives everything that you do. You without it, you're not going to get very far. You're especially not going to get very far with the young ladies. Because as I had mentioned to you earlier, outside of young ladies, liking guys who are relatively handsome and tall in terms of, looks and physical features are concerned, one of the biggest things that attract young ladies to young men is his confidence, how he feels about himself. Because the reality, Chris, is that no young lady is going to ever feel comfortable being in the company of a young man who lacks confidence. So before you move forward in terms of, trying to, be in the company of a young woman, first of all, you have to be confident within yourself. Because when you have that confidence, then it gives other people to have confidence in you as well. But one of the first things I want to share with you was the first time I had lost my virginity. As you know, as I've shared with you, I lost my virginity at the age of 17. What I didn't tell you was that I lost my virginity to a young lady who was in the midst of her menstrual cycle, and we had sex on a floor in the hallway of a building she lived in. That does not sound very romantic at all. I repeat, the first time I ever had sex with a young lady was when she was on her menstrual period on a floor in a hallway of the building she lived in. Not very romantic, not very eventful. And the reason I went through with it is the same reason you want to lose your virginity now. You simply, no longer wanted to be a virgin. At that particular point, I didn't want to be a virgin anymore. And at that, at that time in my life, it really didn't matter who I had sex with or where I had sex with or whatever the circumstances were. All that mattered to me was that I got a piece, and and boom, my virginity was going to come to an end. The second time I had sex was the night of my senior prom, and that was with my prom date, and it was in the back seat of a car. So you see, son, the first 2 times that I ever had sex with a woman, or a young lady, was on a floor and in the back seat of a car. Those are experiences I cannot get back. I cannot hit the rewind button. It happened the way it happened. It was what it was. So I wanted to share that with you. The other thing I wanted to share with you, son, was that I for one know what it's like to be a young man coming into his own and being rejected by young ladies. Truth be told, when it comes to young men, most young men, not every young man, but most young men coming up, rejection is a part of life. It's part of the process. You're just not going to get around it. There are very few young men, especially in your age group, who has never experienced rejection from girls. That comes with the territory. You're going to get quite a few no's. And it's not so much of these young ladies telling you no, but what it really boils down to is being able to say, okay, what is it that they're really saying no to? Are these young ladies saying no to me because I don't have Hollywood good looks? Are they saying no to me because I don't have a lot of money in my pocket? Are they saying no to me because I don't drive a car? Are they saying no to me because I'm not very tall and I don't play sports? See, when you start to internalize, why you're getting quite a few no's from young ladies that you may have expressed an interest in, you need to take a step back and ask yourself, why are they saying no? Or what is it that they're saying no to? Because let's go down the list a little bit. If they're saying no because you don't have movie star good looks, okay, fine. You're not a movie star. That's not a big deal. If they're saying no to you because you're not a certain height, or you're shorter than what they would consider to be the ideal height of a guy that they want to date or have or be romantically involved in, well, you chances are you're not going to get any taller. So whatever your height is, that's what your height is. If it's because you don't have a whole lot of money in your pocket, well, you're a college student. You're not supposed to have a whole lot of money in your pocket, and more importantly, you're not supposed to have a whole lot of money to spend on girls. Are they saying no because you don't drive a car? Okay, again, you're a college student. What do you need a car for? If you want a car, I'm sure you would have figured out a way to get one at this point. But all these things I've mentioned to you, Chris, are superficial. It really does not have, none of those things define you. And it doesn't define your value. You really need to understand that, Chris. And you need to hear what Daddy is saying. That all goes back to your confidence. And accept the fact that, no, you're not going to be every young lady's type. But I got news for you, Chris. You somebody's type. Have you met her yet? Probably not. Have you seen her around campus? You may have and haven't realized it yet. So let me kind of shift gears a little bit and share with you a few facts about Hampton University. As of last year, well, in 2016, because this is where I got the information from. 2016, there were approximately 4,700 students enrolled. That includes undergraduate and graduate students. 4,700. 67.5% of the student body in 2016 was female. Now, doing a quick math, that tells me that that's a ratio of 67.5% female and remaining 32.5% are male. That gives me a ratio of somewhere in the neighborhood of, I don't know, maybe 2.05, 2.07 to 1. So the ratio of women to men at Hampton University is in excess of 2 to 1. It's a numbers game, Chris. And from a young man's perspective, the numbers favor you. It do not favor the young ladies. Now, the other thing that, and why is this information that I'm telling you is important? Well, here's why it's important. It's important because you spoke a little bit about, some of the young ladies whom you have approached, really were not, quote unquote, feeling you the same way you were, quote unquote, feeling them. And and in the same conversation, you even admitted that for that small pool of male students that are on campus who are, tall in stature and rather good looking, that they pretty much have their pick of, whoever is on campus. So what does that tell me, Chris? That tells me that even with the young ladies on campus knowing that the pickings are slim as far as the male students on campus is, and the type of young men that they are attracted to, that pool is even slimmer. What a lot of young ladies find themselves doing is they find themselves being on what we call a rotation. You got the tall, good-looking brothers, they're just running through several women. They're not being real serious about them or anything like that. They're just, doing what they do. And the young ladies who are volunteering to be some part-time sex toys, so to speak, with these guys, that's what they're doing. Now, that's not to say that that's the majority of the female students on campus that are doing that. But there are quite a few young ladies on campus that actually are doing that, and they're perfectly okay with it. So I'm saying all that to say, Chris, is that the numbers are in your favor and you have time on your side. So again, I stress to you, Chris, you need to spend this time building your confidence. And I'm going to tell you a couple of ways to build your confidence, and then I'm going to end this video and follow up with you later in the week. But one of the first things you need to do, Chris, in terms of building your confidence is you have to identify what are some things you got going for you. I know what you have going for you, but I want you to make a list of things that you have going for you, that that you're good at, that are positive things about you. You know what those things are. I really don't need to repeat them or mention them on this video, because I want you to do the work in terms of working on your self-confidence. So that's the first thing. Identify, what you have going for you and things that you're good at. That helps you build confidence. The second thing you need to do is you need to spend more time, make it a habit of spending more time with people that want to spend time with you. Because if there are people on campus that want to spend time with you because they genuinely like being around you, then that helps boost your confidence. If you find yourself being around a lot of people who don't particularly, value your presence, then naturally your self-confidence will take a hit if it's not very strong in the first place. So that's the second thing. The third thing in terms of building your confidence is you have to be willing to encourage yourself. Whenever you're feeling yourself feeling a little down, feeling a little lonely, feeling a little left out, you need to learn how to start giving yourself some pep talks. And ain't nothing wrong with encouraging yourself, because if you don't encourage yourself, who else is going to encourage you? You have to rely on yourself to give yourself an emotional boost when you feel that no one else is around to give you an emotional boost. You have to do that yourself. Because, I've done that quite a few times in my lifetime. And honestly speaking, Chris, I continue to do it. It's not something that's just a one and done type of thing. It's something that I constantly do. Because emotions are emotions. Sometimes I feel good. Sometimes I don't feel so good. But the times that I don't feel so good, those are times where I make it a point to remind myself of who I am, the good that I have going for myself, and my personal value. And lastly, in terms of building your confidence, appreciate who you are. Appreciate you for you. Because at the end of the day, son, you have to value yourself. You have to place a high value on yourself, because if you allow other people to attach a value to you, then you're going to be in a position where you're going to be looking to try to be validated by other people. And people who have strong confidence, good self-confidence, do not rely on other people to make them feel good about themselves. They don't. One of the things that your mother can certainly say about me is that for all of my shortcomings, one of the things I'm not short on is self-confidence. I'm a very confident man, and for good reason. So I just wanted to put together this quick video to kind of reach out to you, son, let you know that Daddy's going to always be here for you if you need me. As I stated earlier, I'm only a phone call away, a text message away. If you have any question that that's swirling around in your head, no subject is off limits. You're a man now, so you and I, we can sit down and not only talk as father and son, but we can talk man to man. And I look forward, to having these conversations with you, because I know from where you sit, you can use it. I certainly wish that my dad was alive to share some of the things that I had to kind of learn later on. But good thing was I did learn. I just wish my dad was around to teach me some of the things that that I'm now in a position to teach you. So with that, I'm out of here, son. Love you. Talk to you soon.